And go.
My name is Aqil Sajjad. I'm originally from Pakistan but currently studying at Harvard, and I'm 33 years old.
And how long have you been playing baseball?
This is my 4th season.
And have all 4 seasons been with the Boston Renegades?
Yep.
So how did you get involved with the team?
Well, I wanted to play some sport, and I asked somebody about it, a mobility instructor who oriented me to the campus at Harvard when I came. So I asked him about it, and he introduced me to somebody who plays for the team, and then that's how I got in touch with him.
And this is the first time you've played baseball?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And how old were you when you lost your sight?
I was about 16.
Yeah. And how did that happen?
I had a retina detachment. I had a retina detachment in both eyes, so two of them. So I lost my first right eye at the age of 10, and then I lost the left eye when I was about 16.
Gotcha. And what sports were you playing up until that point?
I used to play cricket was the main sort of thing. Occasionally some other games too, but mainly, cricket was it is the primary sport in Pakistan.
Sure. And how important was it for you to get back onto the ball field to play sport?
It was pretty important. For a while I didn't play any sport, so this is the first time I've played a sport after losing my eyesight. People did introduce me to blind cricket, but when I heard about how it worked, it was so different from sighted cricket, and that was about a year or so after I'd lost my eyesight, so I was like, forget it, I'm not going to play this. And when I started playing this game, that was when I'd kind of prepared myself that it's going to be, whatever it is, it's going to be different from sighted baseball or any other sport. So I kind of approached it with the mindset that it's a totally different game, and I got to think about it that way.
So tell me about how the game is different.
Well, it's similar in the sense that there's a ball, you hit it with a bat, and there's similarities. You run to the base, but there are differences in the sense that it's significantly adapted. Even apart from the fact that the ball beeps, the pitcher is on the same team as the batting side. The pitcher is sighted. He tries to put the ball exactly in the same spot, and your goal is to swing your bat exactly in the same spot with exactly the same timing. So it's about muscle memory, it's about consistency of your swing. So at home, the thing to do is to swing and swing. Swing your bat again and again so that your muscles, you have that muscle memory, and consistently swing exactly in the same spot with the same timing. This is different from sighted baseball, where you're looking for the ball. You look at the ball with your eye, and then you hit it, and the pitcher is trying to get you to miss the ball, and you're trying to hit it. So here, the pitcher and you kind of work together. It's not a situation where the pitcher is trying to, make you miss the ball and you're still trying to hit it. So that's a very big, significant difference. Then there are other adaptations, like, you run only to one base. It's either the first one or the third one. It's randomly chosen. Somebody operates the base switch. They randomly pick one. There's no second base because we want to avoid collisions in the midfield. So if there are blind people running in the midfield, there's the second base, and there are players on the other team doing defense. So there might be collision, so you want to avoid that. But to compensate, so there's only one base that you run to, but then to make up for it, they've randomized it, so it's either the first base or the third base that goes off. There's a buzzer in the base, and you run towards the one that goes off, and then if you run towards the wrong one, it doesn't count. So that's slightly different, but I think the bigger difference is the fact that the pitcher and the batter are working together rather than on opposite sides, and there's practically no home run because it's the distance that you have to hit to get a home run. That's kind of not practically viable unless it happens very, very rarely. So those are a few differences, but the main thing I think is the pitcher and batter working together.
Right. So how can you tell how well you've hit the ball? Can you tell by feel alone? Or?
Sometimes. If it's a really good hit, sometimes you can tell. Sometimes you can tell by the sounds you hear from the other team, like because there are two spotters who stand in the field, and they yell out a number to tell the fielders where the ball is. So based on the call, if the call is usually very loud and sudden, then you kind of, that's an indication that it's a good hit. Or if you hear people say some stuff like "by me," it's an indication, it means that the ball went by somebody. So those are some indications from their communication. But sometimes you can tell based on just the feel. You can kind of feel it the way it made contact.
So you talk about feel. Talk about how your other senses come into play on the field, not being able to necessarily see the action around you.
I think it's mainly hearing. In batting, there is some feel aspect to it, of course, because in batting, when you swing and it hits it right in the sweet spot, there is that feel factor. When you're in the in the field, when you're trying to stop the ball, there it's mainly listening to the ball, and then once you kind of lie down on the floor, on the ground, and once the ball hits you, touches you, you get in front of it, and so then of course it's touch, because you then once the ball touches you, it's grab it and pick it up. So it's touch and hearing at that stage, but mainly it's listening to the ball that really counts.
Gotcha. So your passion for the game, is it similar to what your passion for the sport was back when you had your sight?
I would say so, yeah. In some ways, I mean, it's kind of a different stage of my life, of course. It takes more effort to make time for this than it used to when I was in school. So that's changed. But yeah, I feel the passion, and in some ways more, because this is actually at a more competitive level. I mean, I used to play with people in my street or friends in school, but this is like more competitive in the sense that we actually travel to other cities to play in tournaments. So that factor obviously has changed.
Well, great. Well, thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure.